Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Impress with a video on the St. Louis Rapid and Blitz event. Well, more precisely on the Blitz event. I will show you a number of fragments from the first day of the Blitz. And in fact, I will show you some blunders, some positions where things badly went wrong. It happens a lot in Blitz, even at the highest level. The 2019 St. Louis Rapid and Blitz is a 5-day event, first 3 days of rapid play followed by 2 days of Blitz. So this was day 4, the first day of the Blitz, a 10-player round robin, so 9 rounds, and the time control was 5 minutes per game plus a 3-second delay, 1 point for a win, half a point for a draw. In the Rapid event there were 2 points for a win and 1 point for a draw. These were the standings at the start of Blitz play. I took these screenshots from the live broadcast from the St. Louis Chess Club. You can see there the results of games 7, 8 and 9, the last 3 rounds of the Rapid, and then the overall score at the start of the Blitz. Aronian from Armenia and Vachier-Lagrave from France were leading the field ahead of the 2 Chinese players, Ding and Yu, and you can see the other players there. Surprising is tied 5th place for the world champion Magnus Carlsen. He lost 4 of his 9 Rapid games. These are the Blitz ratings of the 10 participants. Carlsen has the highest rating, over 2900 of a Blitz rating, and Aronian is 2nd, Vachier-Lagrave is 3rd, and you can see the other players there. Dominguez, playing for the US, has the lowest rating in this field of 2703. The first game fragment we're going to look at is from round 2 of the Blitz. Ding against Dominguez. Let's have a look. This is the position after the 22nd move from Dominguez, Queen d8 to a8. White has heavy artillery on the 7th rank, but not quite enough to win. The position is about equal. Rook takes f7 from Ding. This bishop is keeping things together for black. Dominguez took on e4. Rook takes b6. And here rook takes f2 is the move to play, but Dominguez made a bad move. He played rook a1 check. King h2, and now he took on f2, and it looks a bit dangerous for white, but there is really nothing happening on the bottom rank. White played bishop e5, and now white has a threat. Let's make a very silly move for black. Let's just make a move, and then we see there's a mate in 2 in the position. Rook takes, and it doesn't matter if you take with the rook or with the king. Queen takes g7 is checkmate. So that is the threat after bishop e5. And just to show you at the bottom rank, there's really nothing to gain for black. Rook h1 check, the king goes to g3. There's another check, but after king f4 there is no more attack from black. So what black has to do here is really swap the queens. Queen takes b7 and the game goes on. But after bishop e5, look what Dominguez played. Rook a1 back to a7. Chess blindness, because that rook can just be taken. Queen takes a7 wins a full rook. The queen is protected by the rook on f7. And here Dominguez resigned. These things can happen in Blitz, even if you're a super grandmaster. Let's look what happened in the next round when Magnus Carlsen played Shahryar Mamedyarov. And this one is actually not a blunder, but very fine technique from the world champion. Carlsen is somewhat better. Queen e8 was the last move from Mamedyarov, and Carlsen played e4. That pawn was taken, and now bishop h3. This bishop is much stronger than its counterpart on b7. And that's one of the reasons that white is better in this position. Of course, the pressure on the c-file also counts for something. The bishop is now hitting the rook. If the rook steps aside, then c7 falls. But Mamedyarov thought he still had a shot. c5. Very surprising. Hitting the queen. Carlsen took en passant, and you can take back with the rook, which is now no longer hanging on c8. Is black surviving here? Well, you may want to look for yourself. How can white win? It looks like black has solved his problems, but there is a nice move from white, and Carlsen found it. Queen d5 check he played, attacking the c6 square one more time with a tempo. Here Mamedyarov resigned. If you play king f8, then white picks up a piece, bishop takes, rook takes, and he has an extra bishop on h3. Nice technique from Carlsen, e4 and then bishop h3, and refuting the c5 shot from his opponent. Let's see what happened in round 5, where Levon Aronian played Yu Yangyi. Aronian has just taken a pawn on f5, and black is winning in this position with his connected pass pawns on the queen side. Black can take the unprotected rook on b2, which was not played because then there is rook b1 with his skewer. So in this position you decided to kick the queen. Queen rushed back to b1 to protect the bishop. Knight c4 bringing the knight into play. And here knight g5 is an option. And now you have to be careful. Don't think you can take on b2 because there is suddenly a checkmate on h7. But after knight g5 you can play rook c8. No panic, because after queen takes h7 check, king f8, black's king is safe for the moment and black wins. But after knight c4, knight g5 was not played. Aronian blundered here. He played bishop c1. And now it's up to you to see if you can find a refutation of this move. It's very simple. There's a mate in 2. Queen d1 check. The knight interposes and this is checkmate. The bishop on c1 is in the way on the bottom rank. But after bishop c1, you did not see it. He played queen takes b1, rook takes b1, and 50 moves later the game ended in a draw. Quite spectacular and dramatic. And here we see screenshots from this position after bishop c1. Aronian had seen it, but you had not. Queen d1 would have led to checkmate in 2. And here straight after the game, Aronian is pointing to the d1 square, and you now also sees it. He's scratching his head. He knows he missed an easy win. This game ended in a draw. Also from round 5, let's look at what happened in the game between Vachier-Lagrave and Ding. Ding has just played queen e6 on the 35th move. The position is about even. This bishop is under attack by 2 black pieces, and bishop b2 solves that problem, keeps the rook protected in the corner. But MVL went for rook af1, giving up a piece for a drawing combination. The piece was taken, and now the right move to play is rook 7 to f6. Very nice shot. Don't think you can take that rook because this is checkmate. So after rook 7 to f6 you have to save your queen, for example queen e7, and then there is rook takes h6 check, g takes, queen takes with a perpetual. I'll just show you a few moves which proves that this is indeed a perpetual check. Black cannot get out of this. The white queen dances around. Very nice. But after rook takes a3, MVL played the wrong rook. Not rook 7 to f6, which was correct, but rook 1 to f6. And why is that different? Well, Ding showed why. Rook a1 check. If you go to h2, there is bishop d6 check, and this is not going to end well for white. And after rook a1 check, the move played in the game was king f2, queen a2 check, king g3, and now look at this move, g takes f6, but it is check. The black rook gives check to the white king, so there is no time for queen takes h6 checkmate. And Vachier-Lagrave had to resign. His king will get checkmated. And also from round 5, what happened in Sergei Karjakin against Zachiar Mamedyarov. Karjakin is somewhat better in this position, but there's a long way to go. g4 was played, and now a big blunder from Mamedyarov on move 13. Yes, very early in the game. He played d5, taking away the c5 flight square for the queen. And why is that important? Because now f4 came, hitting the queen, and the queen only has one square on d6. And then there is the simple fork, e5, forking queen and knight, queen c6, e takes f6, and Karjakin went on to win this game. That's a painful one so early in the game, to lose a piece through a simple pawn fork. And in round 6, the clash of the two previous challengers for the classical world title, Sergei Karjakin from Russia against Fabiano Caruana from the US. What happened there? This is not a blunder, this is just a very nice finish of the game by Karjakin. Caruana has just played knight e7 on the 27th move, challenging the strong knight on f5. But here comes a beautiful shot from Karjakin. Knight takes g7, opening up the defense around black's king. King takes, bishop b2 check, king back, queen h5, knight g6 was played by Caruana, and look at this move, bishop f6. And there's really nothing that black can do against the queen coming to h6 and then to g7, delivering checkmate. Very nice finish of the game by Sergei Karjakin. And I have to show you this picture. On the left is world champion Magnus Carlsen, and he played in round 7 against Dominguez. e4, e5, and then can you see there Carlsen's second move? Queen d1 to h5. Only absolute beginners and world champions can play this way. But of course it is not a good move. Carlsen is not having a good Rapid and Blitz event. If he had been on top of the rankings, I doubt that he would have played a move like this. And from the last round of day 1 of the Blitz, let's look at what happened in Ding against Caruana. On the 40th move, Caruana has played knight b5 to c3, and material is equal, but white is winning in this position. His rooks and knight are in very strong positions, and he has this passed pawn on h5. Let's see how the game finished. It's not a blunder either, but it's a nice finish from Ding. Rook g1, king g7, rook takes pawn, king f8, and can you spot the mate in 2 here? Ding saw it immediately. Knight h7 check leads to checkmate on the next move. King e8 is the only move, and then this is checkmate. A nice finish for Ding of this first round of Blitz. Caruana had a bit of a nightmare on this day. As we can see from the standings after the first day of Blitz, there is Caruana in 9th place with only 1.5 points out of the 9 games of Blitz. Vachier-Lagrave is leading the field after 4 days of Rapid and Blitz. Aronian is only half a point behind, and Ding and Yu, the Chinese contenders, are still in the hunt. Carlsen only managed to score 50% in the Blitz and is in 7th place. In his interview after the game, he said he cannot wait for this event to be over and for the classical Sinquefield Cup to begin in only a few days. I hope you enjoyed this video with a few snippets from the Blitz event of the St. Louis Rapid and Blitz tournament, which is part of the Grand Chess Tour. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe to the Chess to Impress channel, and please leave a comment. I will read them all and I will reply to them all. If you liked the video, it would be great if you could share it on social media by clicking the share button on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram, on Twitter and on Facebook. This is Rick for Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.